Yo, what's up, guys? Gecko here, and it is time to rank all of the Johto Pokemon. All right, we'll just get started right here with the grass starter. I love Chikorita. This is one of my favorite starters, like starter lines. Super underrated. I don't know why it gets so much hate. I adore this Pokemon. Bayleaf is an S. Bayleaf is literally one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I fucking love this Pokemon. Super, super underrated. Like this whole evolution line, I don't know why it doesn't get more love. I adore Bayleaf. And then Meganium would probably be like an A again. I don't like it quite as much as the others in the evolution line, but it's still super cute, and I really love the flower around its neck and like that splash of pink. It's just really, really pleasing. Cyndaquil is probably like a B for me. Don't get me wrong, it is super cute. But yeah, something about it just like it doesn't I don't know, doesn't capture me as much as other starter Pokemon do. But it is very cute. I love Quilava, one of my favorites in the region. Absolutely adore this. It's one of my favorite like middle stage starters as well. I think it's just like the perfect like combination of Cyndaquil and Typhlosion's traits because it does have this very like cool vibe that Cyndaquil did not have, and I love like the fire mohawk on its head. Honestly, having the fire in two different places, like the mohawk and then coming out of its back by its legs as well, really works well. I actually kind of prefer that over the others in its evolution line and how they handle the fire. Typhlosion, like I know this seems really low because I know Pokemon people love this Pokemon, but it just is such an awkward it's an awkward Pokemon to me. Like I adored this as a kid. This was my favorite Johto starter as a kid, and I've just kind of fallen out of love with it over time because it's a very, very plain design. There's really nothing going on at all except for the fire on its back. Like when the fire's not out, it's so bland. It's just a bland Pokemon. And then also, I find its body proportions very awkward. It looks very cool in official art like this. I love this art of it. It looks very menacing. But any other time, like when you have to put this in a 3D space and animate it and like show how it moves around and stuff, it's very awkward because it has these like big, chunky legs and backside and then these little tiny arms. So it looks like a creature that would walk on two legs, but like its legs are also kind of stubby, so it's kind of awkward if it's bipedal. But then if it gets down at all fours, it's awkward how tiny its front arms are. So like it's kind of just an awkward creature. So I don't dislike it, but just over time, I've noticed things about the design where I'm like, I actually don't dig this as much as I did when I was a kid. But it is still cool. I'm not gonna say that it's not. Totodile's so cute, dude. I love this little guy. It's funny because when I was a kid, this was my least favorite Johto starter. I liked all of them, but I never would have picked Totodile as a kid. But I love this little crocodile boy. Croconaw, I'm not too fond of. I would like almost consider moving this to D. I'm gonna keep it in C for now. We can always rearrange at the end and after we've got everything placed. But just the head shape is a bit awkward, and then like the caveman aesthetic for its markings, it looks like it's wearing like a caveman cloth or something. I don't know if that's actually what they were going for, but I can't unsee that because that's what it looks like to me. And it's just a weird choice to me because that's not anywhere else in the designs of the evolution line. And it just comes off as awkward to me. For alligators, very cool. This one though, I'm not gonna put any higher. I've never like been super into this one. See, and I almost want to move this down because I actually think I like Typhlosion more still. But I don't know. I go back and forth on for alligator because it's like on the one hand, it is a cool design and it is an alligator, which I love. That's super cool. But it's just kind of lacking inspiration to me. I don't know. I'm torn on this one. I'll think about this one and come back to it at the end. Sentret is super cute. Love that it stands on its tail. Love how round and chunky the body is. Adorable little Pokemon. Furret even more so. This is so, so cute. I love Furret. Especially love the little markings on the face. Like they look like whiskers, but it's actually just like marks on its cheeks. That is so cute to me. Then we have Hoothoot. Where would I put Hoot? Hoothoot is probably a B. I appreciate how unique it is, even today, from other regional birds. Like it's a very distinct choice to make it an owl and a very distinct design as well. Um, But I've never been like super duper in love with the design enough to put it higher than this, but I do like it. Noctowl doesn't do it for me. It's a little too bland for me, I guess is the word. Which like it's not really a bland design per se. I think it's the color scheme. Like with Hoot Hoot, yes, it's brown, but the big red eyes kind of break up the color a little bit. And with this one, it's all just very neutral tones. It's just brown. The wings are a bit darker. The eyebrows are a bit lighter. But I wish there was a little more color to it. I like the shiny a lot. I think the shiny improves what I'm talking about. Ladybug. Ladybug is so bad. Like, it's so bad to use on a team. Like, it's absolutely atrocious in terms of like its stats, its moves, literally everything about it sucks. But the design is at least a little bit cute, so that saves it from being an F. But I am not a fan of this Pokemon. Ledion, I really don't like at all. I prefer Ladybug. Ledion, I think it's just that it gets a little too humanoid. Like, it's still pretty bug-like, but it's just a little more human than Ladybug. I think it's the head, like the head shape, something about the eyes. I don't know. I don't like it as much. Spinnerack is very cute. I love this little friend. I love that it has a face on its back. Like it looks like a sad face to me. And it just has like these big glossy eyes. It's an adorable little spider guy. Ariados is very cool. I've always really liked this Pokemon as well. I really love the color change from Spinnerack to Ariados. It still looks very poisonous, very toxic. And just those reds and blacks are very menacing. Crobat is so sick, dude. Most people love Crobat. Like this is just a really cool Pokemon. What a cool addition to the Zubat line. Chinchou is very cute. I think that it's again kind of like a unique take on a fish Pokemon. Like they definitely set things apart with their regional bird, like their water types. They feel distinct from what we got in the first games. I really like Lantern as well. This one I might consider bumping up to A, or at least at a different point in my life. I adored this Pokemon. This was like one of my favorite Johto Pokemon. Nowadays, I'm not quite as keen on the design. There's not as much going on as I'd like to. Like, it needs just a little something else, and I don't know what that would be. Or maybe it doesn't, and maybe it's just not, my favorite Pokemon anymore. But this one is still good. Pichu is super cute. This is a Pokemon that really did not need to exist. The mascot is so prominent on its own. There really wasn't a reason to give it a baby form, but it's a really, really freaking cute baby form. Cleffa is fine, I guess. The body shape is pleasing. I do like it. It's a little star-shaped guy. I like that. But it's kind of whatever. I do not like Igglybuff. I don't know. F feels harsh. F already feels harsh for Ledion, to be honest. Like, I guess I'd put these here. Like, I don't absolutely despise them. I just don't like the designs. They just took Jigglypuff. They stuck a swirl on its face for whatever reason. I don't even get what that's supposed to signify. Is it like in place of curly hair now? They just drew a swirl on there. I don't know. I don't really get it. But it just doesn't set itself apart enough. Togepi is so cute, dude. I fucking love Togepi. This is a friend. I love this little egg guy. Togetic I don't like quite as much, but it is still very cute. I do still enjoy this design a lot. And we already know how I feel about Togekiss. So obviously Togekiss is my favorite from this evolution line, but the whole thing is good. I really love Natu. Xatu too. I'm just going to put both of them up here right away. Very, very cool birds. I love all the markings on them. I love the color scheme. They just look very like pensive and mystical, and it's just a really cool design. Mareep, super cute. Yeah, this is just a cute Pokemon. I also love that it's blue. I really love the blue face and feet. Love Flaffy. Probably even actually, why is Mareep down here? Move Mareep up. I love this whole evolution line. I've really come around to Flaffy in recent years. As a kid, Flaffy was probably my least favorite in the evolution line. Now, I think it honestly might be my favorite. It's such a pleasing pink color, and I love the accent of the blue tail, the little blue orb on the end. And it just looks so cute to have the big fluffy fur on its head and its neck. Ampharos too, great Pokemon. This was one of my favorite Johto Pokemon as a kid as well. Still really enjoy it, but like I said, I think Flaffy's overtaken it by just a little bit, but I still really love Ampharos. Blossom's just not for me. It's fine, it's cute, but it's kind of whatever. Meryl's very cute. Would I put this? I think Meryl I would put in B. It's very cute, but yeah, I just don't feel strongly enough about it to put it in A. I definitely prefer Azumarill, but I'm also probably really biased. Actually, do I prefer Azumarill? Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, I kind of like Meryl more. I don't know. I'm gonna put both of them here for now, and I can always move them later. I mean, I'm biased because Azumarill is really good, competitively, or at least like not necessarily in like competitive meta nowadays, but just like it's very good in battle because of its huge power ability. Um, so that makes me a little bit biased toward it, but I like both of them. Okay, then we get to Pseudo Wudo. Probably B, I think. The concept is so fun. The concept is so fun. This tree that is like petrified and now made of stone instead of wood, or petrified wood rather, and it disguises itself. Although it's a very bad plan. Like I get the type matchup thing of like, oh, if they think I'm a grass type, they won't use water moves on me. So like from a strategy standpoint, I get it, but also trees need water. So like it's very funny that in the game you move it by watering it because it's a plant and then it moves out of your way because it doesn't like water. And it's like I don't think it fully thought this through. I don't think evolution thought through this Pokemon completely. Polytoad. This one, it's very hard for me to judge in a vacuum. Like I think I have to judge it in relation to the rest of its evolution line because I just don't think that it fits in. Like this doesn't look anything like its predecessors aside from I guess the swirl on its belly, which doesn't even look the same anymore. Now it's just kind of like a marking on its belly, which has completely changed color and such. And honestly, even in a vacuum, it's kind of just a frog. Like, sure, it's cute. Frogs are cute. We like frogs. But this is I don't know. This is just kind of a boring design to me. Hoppip is adorable. I love Hoppip. I love the little kitty ears and face. I love that it floats around with like these propeller leaves on its head. Such a cute Pokemon. Skiploom is very endearing as well. I don't like it quite as much as Hoppip. I think that the flower on its head to me just isn't as fun as like having almost helicopter blades that are made of leaves. So that part kind of lowers it for me. But I still like it. Jumpluff, I also really enjoy. I really like the cotton balls now that it has, and I really like that they change color in every stage. There's not really an explanation for why, but like I don't know, it's just kind of fun. It just makes them all feel very unique from each other. Apom is a no from me. Again, not a monkey person, and also this design is just kind of like weird. I don't really like the giant like sucker tail or the big hand tail, whatever it is. Definitely one of the better monkeys, I think, overall, at least for me personally. In terms of the design, it doesn't bother me as much as some of them, but it's just not my thing. Sunkern, I don't know. I guess D. I guess D. This is really just a nothing Pokemon. It's trash in battle. The design is like I will give them props for the design. Like a Pokemon that is literally just a seed, they at least made it interesting. They gave it markings. Its eyes are pretty unique. Like they did what they could for it just being a seed. Sunflora fucking sucks. Sunflora, here's the origin story for Sunflora. One of the employees in charge of designing Pokemon for this region gets stumped. They can't think of any other Pokemon to make. They come home and their kid is like, look what I drew for you. And they drew a flower with a face on it, like kids do. And the employee's like, we can use this. And they made Sunflora. And then somehow the rest of the team was like, yeah, we'll put that in the game. Flower with a face on it? Sure. That's all this fucking is. All right, Yanma. Yanma's cool. Yanma's a really cool Pokemon. I really like the colors a lot actually. The green face and then like the orange body and stripes on its wings. This is a really cool bug Pokemon. Wooper, you already know, dude. You already know. Wooper is the goat. Wooper's insanely good. Like literally, this is not even just like a Mimi thing. Like it is legitimately such a cute, endearing design. It's so good. I love the face, like the placement of the mouth in relation to the eyes gives it such a derpy, charming look. I love the purple gills. That the purple is a really nice accent, a really nice addition to the blue color scheme. I love that it has no arms. That makes it like even derpier and goofier. This is such a good design. And then Quagsire, dude, like this one, it probably still belongs in S, like or maybe high A, but like It's so good, dude. This is just a chunky friend. I personally prefer Wooper a lot more. At least for Johto. We already went over Paldea Pokemon. I prefer Clodsire over Paldea and Wooper. But for this evolution line, Wooper's the GOAT, dude. Espeon is really, really cool. Love this design. This has grown on me a lot. When I was a kid, this was my least favorite evolution. Really was not a fan. Probably because it was a lot more cat-like, and I was like heavily a dog person as a kid, and just preferred that aesthetic. So I like wasn't really into this. This is such an elegant design. What a good evolution. Umbreon's gonna go here too. As a kid, or even just like when I was younger in general, I would have put this in S. It was one of my favorite Pokemon. Definitely my favorite evolution, at least. Yeah, over time, it's still good. Like, black color schemes are always gonna look cool. But I don't know. There's just like, I don't know, something about it isn't quite as interesting to me anymore. Murkrow. I'll probably put Murkrow in B. Cool Pokemon. I like that it looks like it's wearing a hat. I really like crows in real life, so this is just a fun design. Slowking, I feel like C is a little too low, but it would probably be like on the lower end of B for me. I definitely prefer Slowbro a lot more, but I can appreciate what they did with this. They did take it in a very different direction. I do like that the shelter or the creature is kind of a crown now. That's fun. Mischievous, I don't know. I think the problem with Mischievous is just that it gets no attention ever. Like, it's not used in anything. It's like the design itself, I mean, I like it. Like, the color scheme is nice. It's a cool idea for a ghost. But it's just never around. Like, even in Johto, there was a ghost gym leader and he doesn't even use one of these. Like, and that's an issue with the game design more so than like Mistrevous's design or anything, obviously. But it makes it hard for me to like it or feel any kind of attachment or feelings toward it when it kind of almost doesn't exist in my mind. Like, I forget about this Pokemon all the time. Unknown. This is probably like, well, I don't know. I would be curious what other people's thoughts on Unknown are. I feel like it's weird to put it on the higher end of the tier list because I feel like most people, it's just like a useless Pokemon that nobody uses. But I was first introduced to Unknown through the show, or not the show, the movie, the third movie, in which Unknown is actually like really freaking cool and they're very like mystical. Like, they're these ancient beings that like come to life and they're like bending reality. Like, they're really fucking cool in the movie. So like that's more of my association for them than the games, because in the games they're just like whatever. But even the designs too are really cool to me. They just look so mystical and ancient to me. Wobbuffet's a fun Pokemon. Fucking nightmare in Nuzlocke. I never want to run into one of these when I'm playing a Nuzlocke. But it's a really, really fun idea for a Pokemon. Giraffrig is fine, I guess. It's a giraffe. I don't know. I like the idea that it's kind of like split in two and its tail is its own monster. The typing is a little bit weird though, because like, so I always had thought that the psychic part was the giraffe, like the giraffe half of it, because doesn't it get moves like Psybeam and stuff? I could be misremembering. I've never actually used one on my team. But then I was like, okay, well, the back half doesn't really look like a normal type. If anything, it actually looks like a dark type. But I think it's actually, I think I had it opposite, where the giraffe is just normal, and then the backside is psychic, which also doesn't make sense to me because it doesn't look like a psychic type. So the typing throws me off a little bit, but the concept is fine. Pineco. You know what? I started appreciating this Pokemon a lot more once I knew what it was, because obviously I always thought it was a pinecone. I didn't know any better when I was a kid. And like then learning about bagworms and like that they look just like this, and then also that it's like it is a bagworm, but it also is kind of meant to look like a grenade, and that's why it explodes. Like that's a fun idea. The design leaves something to be desired. It's not the most interesting design ever, but I'll give it props for the concept. Fortress, unfortunately, I can't put any higher because I just don't really like the design. Again, I can appreciate what they were going for conceptually. I get why it looks the way it does. I'm not hating on that. It's just not a particularly appealing design to me. Dunsparce is a friend. I think I would put it here. I've never felt like a particularly strong attachment to it. It's just kind of this like goofy little guy. So I like it. I just don't feel like super strongly about it. Gligar is cool. I like the colors a lot. I love that it's always sticking its tongue out. I like the big pincers. This is a really cool design. Steelix is super cool. Fantastic evolution for Onyx. Never been that into Snubble, honestly. Not my vibe. Yeah, just really not my vibe. I'm not super into Grand Ball either. I'd say I probably like it a bit more than Snubble. But I don't know. They're kind of just there. I'm not super into these. The fairy typing choice is also very weird. Unless there's something I'm missing in like their inspiration and what they're supposed to be. Because like Snubble was always called the fairy Pokemon, even before that type was ever a thing. But I never understood why. Like I don't really get it. Quillfish is whatever. Like, yeah, this Pokemon's whatever. It sucks because like the concept is fun. It looks like a mine with the spikes sticking out. I do like that. It's just like I don't really like how the design looks overall, aside from that one aspect of what it's going for. Scizzor's very cool. I definitely prefer Scyther by a lot. Like to me, this is a downgrade actually. Like having blades for arms is way cooler than having pincers. Probably less practical. Like Scizor can probably actually pick things up, but like who fucking cares when your arms are blades, dude? But Scizzor's still very cool at the end of the day. Shuckle is so good, dude. It is not high enough to put an S. Like, if we were being memey about it, yes, of course, I'd put it up here. It's not quite that high, but I do really love this. It's such a goofy Pokemon. It's such a weird little guy, such a weird little design, but in like a quirky, fun way. The typing is fun. How high its defenses are is insane. Like, this is just a fun Pokemon. Heracross is sick. I fucking love this Pokemon. This is one of my favorite fighting types. What a cool design. I mean, beetles are really, really freaking cool anyway, like in real life. So, like, turning it into a Pokemon, having the giant, like, horn on it looks so intimidating. This is just a great design. Sneasel's also very good. Really cool design. I love the attitude it has. It has so much personality. The red, like, I guess feathers on, like, its ear and its tail look really cool. This is just a cool Pokemon. Teddiursa is very cute. Always loved this little guy. Though, like some others that I've talked about, like, it's not... Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to put this in C. This was supposed to be in B. There we go. Like some of the others, it's not, like, super-duper exceptional. It never stood out in these games to me, but it's cute. I like Ursaring a bit more. Not enough to put it in A, but I do prefer the evolution. I just like bears. Bears are great animals. And this one kind of is just a bear. Like, this is one that's like, oh, it's just the animal. But I kind of just like it because I like bears. Slugma's a fun Pokemon. I really like how almost like what's the word? Deranged maybe? Like the eyes are just like those tiny little pupils. It's got these like huge bug eyes, and it's just like this blob of lava. That's really fun to me. I also like Macargo. Macargo's a fun take on this idea of like first it's like a slug made of magma, and then it actually gets like a shell of like, you know, molten rock. That's a fun idea. Like turns into a snail. Swinub is cute. I always loved how its eyes are closed all the time. It's kind of just like this lump of fur on the ground. Piloswine I'm like not as into. I like the tusks. I appreciate the direction it goes, but it kind of loses the appeal because like Swinub is like a cute little blob, and this one's kind of just like this big hulking mass that kind of loses the cute factor for me. Corsola is very cool. I always really, really liked this concept for a Pokemon, and the design is cute. And especially like the color scheme. The color scheme is spot on, man. Corsola is very good. Remoraid, this is kind of just, it's just a fish. It's whatever. This is one of the fish Pokemon that always gets forgotten. I'm actually really mad that we didn't get the beta designs for these, especially Octillery, dude. Fuck this design, man. It's just a fucking octopus. There's nothing interesting about this. We could have had a gun and a tank in fish form, in aquatic form. That would have been so funny. I love beta Octillery, and like, this is so disappointing. And like, here's the thing, like, even if we never saw the beta designs and we didn't know that's what they originally looked like, I would still probably put these here because they just aren't interesting. There's nothing going on with these. Delibird, it's fine, I guess. It's just so sad that, like, gimmick Pokemon a lot of times end up not being very usable just because of how gimmicky they are. And this is one of those cases where it's like, I want to like it. It's a cute idea. It's a little penguin that acts as Santa Claus in this world. That's cute. But, like, it's just not a good Pokemon. Mantine, I'd probably put up in B. I really love Manta Rays, and this is just a really endearing way to do that. It's fun that it has the little Remoraids underneath, almost like they're little missiles attached to it. That's a fun aesthetic. Skarmory is so sick. Skarmory is so cool, dude. Actually, I don't know would I put this all the way up in A? I could see, or excuse me, S. I could see bumping this down to A potentially. But it's very high A. This is a really, really cool Pokemon. I mean, it's an armored bird with blades for wings. Like, come on, this is so sick. Really like Houndour. Houndour's a good boy. It's a doggo. I really love really everything about it. I forget the name of the breed that it looks like, but it's very endearing. Houndoom is sick. Love this Pokemon. So fucking cool. I love the idea of a horned dog. Such an awesome idea. Kingdra, where do I put Kingdra? I mean, I think it deserves A. Like, this is one that like I've never used. I don't have a particularly strong attachment to. But it's a very nice design. I like how much the mouth looks like a gun or like a sniper of some sort that it would shoot projectiles out of. I really like the antenna and just like the little bits coming off of the antenna and the fins. It looked very cool. Phanpy's cute. He's just a little guy, just a little friend. Donphan is very cool. Always really liked this Pokemon. I love that it looks like a tire when it rolls up. Just a really, really cool take on an elephant. Porygon 2 is cool. I really love the idea that it's now very, very rounded rather than like the jagged polygons of Porygon. Really cool Pokemon. Stantler is so disappointing, dude. It's so sad because I think even just changing the typing would have made it more interesting. Like if this were a psychic type from the get-go, that would be cool. It has like these hypnotic antlers that it uses. That's a cool idea. But the fact that they like almost got there and then they're like, but no, it's just a normal type. Like it's just a deer is like, what? Like this is disappointing. I'm not a Smeargle person personally. I don't like how the design looks. I don't like it looks like it's wearing a hat. I don't really like the thing on its head looks awkward. It's just, and it's not very cute. Like, I don't know. I just don't really like how this looks. The gimmick is very cool. I like the idea that it can learn any move. But I don't like the design. Tyrogue is fine. I don't feel that strongly about it. Like, I surprisingly don't hate it for being so human. Hitmontop is fun. I love its ability to spin on its head like a top and then whack you with its limbs. Very, very unique and cool fighting type. Fuck Smoochum, dude. Oh my gosh, this might be one of the worst designs they've ever made. Fuck this Pokemon. I love Elekid. I have always loved this design. There's something so like satisfying to me about the shape of it. It's so like ovular, and then its arms are also kind of like ovals. It's so chunky and pleasing to look at. And then I love that its head is like plugs that would go into an outlet. I don't know. This is just a great design. This is like my favorite baby Pokemon. Not super into Magby. Magby is just whatever. Like, it took Magmar and made it even more weird looking with the lumps on its head. Like, with Magmar, I don't mind it that much. It's just like two of them above the eyebrows. This is like the whole head is just so lumpy. It looks like it fell on its head 10 times. Miltank is fine. Never super into this one, but like it's not a bad design. It's just, I mean, the udders are kind of uncomfortable. Like they didn't have to make them so enormous, and I hate what they look like when they're animated. But other than that, the design is fine. Blissey didn't need to exist. Like, why is this here? Now we get to the legendary beasts. Honestly, they're all really cool. I think I would put Raikou in A. Actually, they're probably all A, honestly. They're all very, very good. So elegant, especially Suicune. So graceful and elegant. Entei's just badass. Like, this is a awesome design. And then Raikou does not get enough love. Like, this is such a fucking cool design. I love, like, the purple, cloudy cape thing behind it. I love the tail that looks like a lightning bolt striking. Just a really, really fantastic design. It's really sad that this one doesn't get as much recognition as the other two. But, yeah, this whole lineup, this whole trio is super good. Larvitar is fine. Definitely prefer Tyranitar, as most people probably do. But this one's fine. Just an edgy little guy. Pupitar is fine. Not super into this one. I'm fine with the idea of it kind of becoming a cocoon in its second stage, or a pupa rather. But the design is just kind of whatever. And then Tyranitar, dude. I mean, come on, it's Tyranitar. It's so sick. Like, I don't need to explain anymore. This is similar to Aggron. Like, if you don't understand why Tyranitar is cool, like, why are you even here? And that, I mean, come on, man. Come on. It's freaking Lugia. Like this has been my favorite Pokemon for the majority of my life. I fucking love Lugia. Like it started with the Pokemon 2000 movie. I was just in awe. Like when Lugia came on screen and like the rest of the movie was like, holy shit, like this is everything. This is my favorite Pokemon ever. The way they introduce it is so cool. It's so mysterious. Like at first you just see it as a silhouette at the bottom of the ocean and you kind of like hear its cry and it just like lives down there by itself. Like it's such a cool Pokemon. Ho is also fantastic. Honestly, this probably deserves to be an S, if not like very, very high A. Obviously, I have a favorite between these two legendaries, but Ho-Oh's still a fantastic design. Lovely colors, love the idea of the Phoenix. Really cool Pokemon. Celebi, I've never been a Celebi fan. I probably would have put it even lower when I was younger. I've accepted it, like it's just not my aesthetic. I'm not really into like the fairy sprite kind of little creatures. But I mean, its concept is cool enough. The fact that it can time travel is very cool. I like that it's kind of a guardian of the forest, so like I do vibe with that. But I'm not into the design at all. Let me see if there's anything I would move around. Okay, I feel like D is probably too harsh for Blissey because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of a redundant Pokemon. It's not that different from Chansey. Yeah, like same with Quillfish. I don't feel like Quillfish deserves to be down there because it's not bad. It's just kind of a whatever Pokemon. I guess Miracle too. I don't know. I have very few feelings on this one, so I guess C makes sense for it. Did I put Typhlosion in C originally? I guess I did. Yeah, I feel like that's probably a little too harsh, if only because like in comparison to Feraligatr, I don't feel like I would put Feraligatr higher. They're like kind of on equal footing for me. So I guess we can move you up a tier. Again, it is still cool. It's just I'm not as into it as I used to be. Honestly, like if Ho-Oh gets to be an S, then Chikorita definitely should be. Maybe even Meganium. Like it feels weird seeing them this low because these are like some of my favorite Pokemon in the region, and like Ho-Oh is very cool. It just feels weird to have it higher than those. Because S is supposed to be like my absolute favorites of the region. I think that this is good enough now. As I've said in previous episodes, like even by the time I start editing, sometimes my mind has changed on some of them, or like I would place them a little bit differently. But we're just gonna call it here. This is pretty accurate to all of my feelings on all of the Johto Pokemon. As always, I would love to hear your favorites and least favorites down below. And thank you so much for watching.